ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dota 2 Champions League. We have Team Friends versus the Imperial, the recent winners of the WESG, and yeah, we'll see how they're gonna do against Friends, the Yoku stack, or rather the CIS stack. That's got pretty good players from previous teams, all banding together for a common purpose. We'll see if they can take out the Imperial, the recent hot topic of the Dota internets. But anyway, enough about that. I'm Lysander. I'm going to be joined here by Mike Loris. Welcome, man.
It's good to be back after that little bit of hiatus, and it is kind of interesting to see how far Imperial went and how successful they were in that tournament. Now, granted, those teams aren't like real teams, like they're not like friends who play together, practice together, scrim together, but the quality of players that they were able to beat just as stacks is fairly impressive, and I still think Imperial probably are the favorites here up against Friends, but even with how hot they are right now, you can't count Friends out because they are a real stack of players.
Yeah, well, the thing I really liked about them is their weird strategies. I mean, yes, we did see some weirder stuff from Resolution with his Centaur carry, but it was still Baby Knight that really improvised with his snipers, with his what was the other hero? What was the other hero he picked that no one else
I think he
picked?
played a Warlock once. I don't remember what game that was.
Yeah, he
I don't know
has
if that's
a
what you're
lot
talking
of
about.
meta-defining picks. Towards the tail end, you could say the tail end of this version, he still is doing a lot of funny stuff with the picks. So, this meta just shows that how many fresh strategies could come out from professional teams. And right now we have a Wisp second pick here. It kind of brings me back to those teams that really do emphasize on the importance of this hero being able to just roam safe targets, build space on the map. It's always a gamble when you play Wisp. You're opening yourself up to counters, but on the other hand, you kind of put your opponents on that watch when they decide or not they want to pick a ratting hero, so to speak. And Omni Knight first pick, definitely not something you see often here.
Yeah, it is also worth noting that Imperial never play Wisp because their enemies always have to ban it out. Imperial are just that comfortable with the hero, so they're in their full comfort zone. They're going up against Omni Knight, who's not great up against IO. Sand King is okay, but Friends will probably need more in order to really protect themselves versus the IO. And if that's the case, then Imperial are already doing their job. They could grab some of the other heroes, the Centaur who's still in, and then just roll face with that. So this is really a question to Friends is, do you respect the IO or do you fear that Centaur? Do you fear those other picks, what we can give Ace with that IO? It's one where there's really no good answer for Friends unless they just check all the boxes and get that perfect hero pick. But as of right now, I don't think they know what that is. I definitely don't know what that is.
Yeah, the Imperial has just too many strategies, so I think the best course of action is to not actually ban one specific one, but ban the heroes that you don't actually want in their draft. So if you look at it now, you don't want it to be centered around an OD, you don't want a Drow Ranger ban, and Friends believe that the sniper is out of their reach as well, so they're going to ban those heroes out. They actually even take out a Silencer, which arguably will be decent against a Sand King, and very strong for a relocate setup. But I feel like picking a Silencer along with a Wisp will really weaken your lane, so I think Friends really didn't have something to fear there. But, they seem uncomfortable dealing with that, so Imperial are just going to get that, in my opinion, free ban out of the way.
It was played by Baby Knight, or I think it was Baby Knight. It might have been Ace previously, but they played it before. Like, it seems like Baby Knight is just grabbing any ranged hero, just dumpstering the enemy mid laner with it, and then the team wins. So if you just look at the Friends bans, like, I wonder who they're trying to ban out here. It's really a real mystery there. And Sand King is okay at pressuring those type of heroes, especially once he gets the Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter. It doesn't really matter how much range you have, you'll just be able to burst strike him anyway. Omni Knight is not really good against those type of range heroes. He's just way too clunky. So it seems like Friends, by picking this Omni Knight, yes, it is a very powerful hero in the versus melee matchups. You will struggle up against what Imperial like to do, which is just outrange you and outposition you.
Yeah, definitely. Repel was buffed recently among its nerfs. It did get a cast time improvement, so it's slightly better. But in that regard, in terms of saving, deflecting spells, but the duration's been shortened, so there's a little bit of nerf to this hero. But I always feel uncomfortable picking it first because you don't really need it first, right? Yeah, you don't need it first. There's no ban that's going to be coming out in the first phase for sure, and it's easily countered by a diffuser carrier. So Imperial can go with something like a PL, a Ricky, and just build that diffusal blade. Can also be anything that can hold diffusal. You think of some heroes. Spectre faces Void. Now it's a Keeper of the Light, so it kind of feels like Friends are doing something new here compared to what we're used to seeing.
It is going to be an interesting Keeper of the Light game for sure. I mean, these supports for Friends, I assume it's going to be a supporty Keeper of the Light and a supporty Omni Knight, aren't really the most aggressive. They're kind of more niche defensive heroes, which is going to open themselves up to being abused in the early laning stage. It is maybe Friends setting up to try to play this really hard carry type role where they are able to abuse the fact that Keeper of the Light has the recall. They have infinite mana, infinite health, and that seems like a pretty good combination. But if they get crushed in the early game phase, like if Imperial decide to pick up a PA type hero for Ace right now, and a hero that can just jump in and get those quick assassination kills off, then your Keeper of the Light and Omni Knight kind of fall flat in their face, or an Undying to do very much so the same thing. I know you're not a fan of this hero, but man, is he good up against what Friends have right now.
Yeah, definitely, and I feel like there's a Storm Spirit in Imperial's future as well. Something that's going to be very excellent with the Wisp and the Bat Rider. You blink jump someone and then the Storm can just follow up. So, well, we'll see what Imperial does go for. The Friends lineup can also go for the Storm here. It's not too bad. They seem to have picked up their support lineup. So right now, Friends are just just leaving cores to be decided here. Or it could be a core Sand King or core Omni Knight. Either way, I'm kind of excited. But I do believe it will be a off-lane Sand King. Should be.
Yeah. That's probably the most likely, and now with the Juggernaut especially, it looks like those are going to be exactly the lanes. Juggernaut most likely prepped to go to the mid lane right now.
Yeah.
But this is Friends picking up now 3 melee heroes going up against an Undying. I mean, they have some pretty good Batrider answers, so I suppose that is going to work out pretty well for the Friends side. But in the early stages, this Undying can just walk all over Friends.
They really don't have that, but how many games have you actually seen an Undying walk over anything in the mid lane, in the early game?
I think your hatred of Undying is blinding you to the effectiveness that he's had in the... Oh my god. Never mind. I'm out. I don't know what's happening anymore.
I mean, okay. No, but honestly, I feel like a lot of games that we say that Undying is going to own in the early game, he doesn't really own. He does show some potential mid-game with the Soul Rip heal burst kind of thing. But I haven't seen a Tombstone walkover, kind of game in a while now.
It's not really like the aggressive kill you type owning. It's the I'm locking you out of lane and you're getting nothing while I'm getting everything type owning.
It's still a very fragile hero to lane because you gotta guess if the opponent is gonna dodge your lane, if you're going aggressive, or you can't put down Undying on a safe lane usually because he just doesn't do much. So it's a very odd hero to lane. Yeah, I mean hatred and all that, but we'll see how it does. A lot of teams have been picking Undying for the burst heal, so. I'm excited to see what the Bloodseeker will do. I know it's going to be excellent against Juggernaut or anything that's going to be repelled because Rupture doesn't care about any of that. So this hero is one of my faves personally. I think it's like one of the heroes I played a lot before. Right when I came over from Dota 1. I played this hero and Night Stalker so much. I've played it since the old version. I've played it when it's patched. And then, I recently played it in pub as well. It's just super fun to just bleed someone out and make them have that decision. Do I stand here and die or just let you stab me with your blades and die? It's kind of fun. And of course, we have that Bat Rider combo. And of course, there you go, the Centaur. So it's gonna be Rupture, pull you, while stampeded, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that'll hurt. I don't know how much damage that does. Because honestly, no one knows how much damage Rupture actually does. It's a mystery like that. But Imperial do have those just run at you type combos. I'm not really a huge fan of Bloodseeker since they changed the whole Blood Rage, added Blood Right. I don't know.
Oh, it's actually better. It just
I know.
He is to play him. It's not the silence and then you die, kind of thing.
don't like it though, man.
Yeah, I didn't
I just
like
don't
it at
like
the start, but I realized it
No,
made him
man.
so good at jungling because the blood rage now affects Iron Talon, so
Eh.
your Iron Talon cuts more than like 40%. It's really stupid in jungling. He just farms so fast. One of the things about Bloodseeker though is getting to that level 11 as quick as possible because level 1 Rupture is complete garbage. And I'm very surprised they pick a Timbersaw here because Rupture is just gonna kill him.
It is going to kind of abuse the fact that Bloodseeker doesn't have that point-click
Oh,
silence,
but yeah,
right?
they
Like
need
it's
it
not.
for Centaur, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like whatever patch that was. The silence will be really good up against the Omni Knight, especially. The Keeper of the Light somewhat, but if you somehow land that Blood Right, which is going to be difficult considering how Imperial are kind of low on that initial CC, then friends are just screwed. Like, they don't have any good answer to that giant AoE silence. They will be in a lot of trouble from there on out. But this is also a pretty good way of abusing Keeper of the Light. Like, early game, you get all the mana, so that might be relevant, but even later stages when Timbersaw can just blow through creep waves, you can easily keep split pushing while at the same time have him in the fights because of the power of recall. So between that and the synergy with Juggernaut, he's able to do very much so the same. This Keeper of the Light definitely got a lot better. The question is, how good is Keeper of the Light versus Bloodseeker? And it's kind of miserable.
Yeah, I think he feeds Bloodseeker, but we'll have to see. The dynamic here from Friends is that they have a lot of AoE between them, and they have good saves. They got a good bit of everything, and they got Juggernaut, the best hero in the world, so you never know. Well, we'll have to see. Alright, we'll run to the teams very quickly. Team Imperial recently got into the spotlight for their WESG success. We've got Hasty Joe on that Bat Rider. We have Baby Knight playing the Bloodseeker, my favorite man right now. Ace gonna be playing Iron Man, also known as Centaur. And Rise gonna be playing Undying. Noya on the IO. On the friend side, we have got Afterlife from the Sand King. We've got No Fear playing Omni Knight. Seems to be like a dual lane going on. Juggernaut gonna be played by Yoku. We have Timbersaw going in the middle, under shock, and always want to fly, gonna be that coddle on the light. Dual lane Sand King, wow, okay, so Barrow Strike Purify, yeah. It's pretty good, alright, ish.
It is pretty good, except for the fact that they're trying to kill a Centaur with that. They'll just never have enough damage to do so. They're also trying to kill a Centaur with IO behind him, with an Undying trying to poke them out up against two melee strength heroes. So if this was like a Luna lane, I would say they would have the chance of just getting that good angle off, burst her down to half HP, and then you pretty much won the fight from there on out. You can't do that versus these heroes, so I'm not expecting that much success from friends, since they're like you can't kill an Undying or Centaur ever. Like that's just impossible in like minute one.
That is a death sentence on the Sit, Undying, and Centaur. So you can't say stuff like that, Mike. All right, I'm gonna recall you very quickly while it's paused because you're going robot. Just recall
Okay.
and we'll hope it fixes itself. Mushy mushy.
Hello.
Alright,
Who
there you are.
dis?
Alright, there you go.
Alright.
Sounds better. Hopefully it stays that way. Alright, so yep, just in time. They are ready. And we're not unpausing, so we'll chill a little bit. Alright, let's do that percentages thing. I really like that when you percentage thing that you talked about a few games ago. So what are we gonna do here? Are we going for 50-50? Are we going 60-40 one side?
Just looking at the heroes, I would say it's probably friends like 65. But knowing how well Imperial handle a Centaur, handle an IO, and how much of a wild card Baby Knight is, it's probably closer to like 55 for Imperial, just because they are so well prepped with their heroes, and these lanes are going to be impossible for friends to crack. You can see the Omni is already just bailing out, and if he's not bailing out, then he should be bailing out, because this is not a lane that's worth staying in.
Well, so it will be a Bloodseeker mid versus Timbersaw. I think both players should not die to each other. They should be able to get their farm going. Bloodseeker pretty much immune to harassment, save for the early levels. And Timber not packing much in the harassment department till later in the level, so he should be okay. Caudle actually getting a D ward going, I think. He did get one D ward. That's why he has that one CS
And
right
this
now.
is pretty interesting. We have a Bat Rider IO going up towards Keeper of the Light, and this is just a run at you strategy.
Yeah, it's very
You have
scary.
the movement speed, you have the Firefly.
It's the slow as well.
Bottom.
Bottom.
They're getting
Ooh.
into a fist fight.
And this is not a fist fight, they're winning. But Afterlife already forced out south. But you know, the Centaur is pretty low. And he has gone for double edge level 1, so could be putting himself in harm's way if he's not careful.
He already used it twice, like he's gotten so much value off of this spell already. It is really, really damaging for yourself. He has quite a bit of regen, and it looks like they already forced out quite a bit of regen from friends. But on an island, these dual lanes, this dual lane on bottom is probably going to be slightly better for Imperial as long as they can pick their battles and make sure to keep getting their regeneration up. This top lane is going to be very delicate for the Keeper of the Light. Like, if he gets caught with Firefly, 2 stacks, and Napalm, there's no way he can escape from this IO Batrider combo. So Imperial are going to be pressuring the side lanes, which means that mid lane is going to be left on its own island. And as you said, it should be a pretty even mid lane for the most part. Undershock's ways of fighting back against Baby Knight are quite plentiful.
Yeah, until Chakram or Rupture is picked up, I don't see a solo kill happening either way. It could happen, but it's unlikely. It only happened once I take my eyes away. That's how it works. But the friends bottom lane actually, it's stronger than you think because Sand King is just really difficult to deal with for 2 melee heroes because of Caustic. So we'll have to see if they are not careful and Sand King takes enough creeps comboed with a Barrel Strike could add enough burst to blow someone up. So they have to be very careful when dealing with this lane. The IO is going to have his bottle walked out to him now. Yeah, so gotta start maintaining that rune control. Baby Knight is still farming pretty well, 9 to the 9, so as we expected, a very balanced lane so far. Invisibility for Noya, so we'll see if he gives it to the Batrider or is he just gonna take that one, maybe leech some EXP top.
Afterlife is getting quite a bit of farm right now on the SK, just getting those last hits, but I don't expect this to be the most calm of lanes right now, especially well, maybe they're actually gonna have to try to TP up towards top. IO didn't use the invis for himself, but yeah, they're pretty much ready to just jump on Always Wanna Fly. We can see this Keeper playing nowhere near the lane, and this is gonna be kind of problematic for Yoku. Like, he has enough base damage to CS under both these 2 heroes, but he's definitely got to be careful as well. Just getting way too many stacks applied to him, he'll have the Blade Fury, yes, yeah, but it won't save him every single time if he's really being dove deep with Firefly.
I think the thing about Spin is it removes all the stacks, so he doesn't have to worry too much about it. But right now, I'm just really waiting for something to happen on the bottom lane because it looks like it's easy for the Centaur, but we have so many creeps being causticed up, you really gotta be careful. The Sand King already teching 2 points in caustic over Barrow Strike here. So Rise just gonna get jabbed there by the Scorpion. Let's play careful. Don't want to get too close to the creep wave, and Friends gonna be farming pretty well on that Sand King, so. And there's always that no fear Omni Knight to bail him out of anything. Always want to fly. Well, we'll have to see here. Getting tagged out by Napalm. So far, no fear. Oh, there's your Omni Knight guarding the rune, so not gonna risk anything. Timbersaw is about to hit level 6 though, so Baby Knight, he has to watch his HP pool. Pretty much. Oh, dropping very low. But there isn't a point in Timber Chain, so the Whirling Death will not actually kill him. Bottom lane, meanwhile, are they going to be able to find it? The Tombstone is probably not going to secure anything. I think mid lane is more important to see. He drops the Silence, and Baby Knight actually manages to silence the creep wave on top of that. And getting that Timbersaw, so pulling himself out of threat range. Ready. We have the Tombstone being deployed there. The committing, not going to yield any results, so. Have that Bloodseeker. Could still make a movement down there. But looks like status quo will be maintained and no heroes are gonna fall. No first blood yet. 5 minutes in, very uncanny as we are used to more kills. Oh, Ace running deep into the creep wave there, using return to maximum benefit. There he goes for a Hood of Defiance. So he's gonna get stunned up. And there's a Purify as well. It's gonna be big damage. The Repel comes out on Ace. Ace doesn't have that follow-up Barrel Strike. He does. He might be baiting this. Ace has to be careful here. Oh no, the Barrel Strike comes out, one more hit. No, the pipe there immediately, but there you go. That Purification, gonna be enough damage to blow him up. And yeah, something not to be underestimated here. No, you jinxed him. The Caster's Curse, more powerful than any lane setup.
I mean, that was a really good timing on the barrier from the Hooded Defiance. I mean, that was as good as it gets, but he is going just like the full harassment
block purification
build now. Yeah, like he's got the IO sustain with him. He omitted boots from his build, just rushing this kind of efficient way of dealing with the Sand King's Caustic Finale and of course the Burrow Strike, but get it with 2 Purifies like that, and the damage certainly is going to add up. While at the same time, Io only had like 1 bottle charge when that started out with, so Imperial are going to take a fight that I think they otherwise could have won if they had all of their tools, more prepped and ready. 2 bottle charges on the Io, or like 1 additional bottle charge, probably would have swung things quite significantly. But for Friends, that's a pretty big deal. Getting a first blood on a Centaur is no easy feat. Yet they are able to grab it at the same time. Are doing fairly well farming in their side lanes as well. So this is Imperial, having still pretty good lanes, but not getting like with it completely. They're gonna go again for bottom, but Afterlife is pretty tanky.
Yeah, I'm not sure about them being able to dive this. And also the stack, I'm not sure if it is the work of the Dire or the Radiant, but stacking this against the Sand King Omni Knight seems kind of dangerous if you're unable to clear it right away. Because it's almost asking the Sand King to take money. Yeah, they're stacking again, and this could be a huge boon for the Sand King. He's just gonna burrow in, and with the Purify, he's gonna clear everything with the Caustic. Yeah,
pretty sure the Undying was working on this the most, so
I feel like he could just go in. I would Burrow Strike it and just repel to get out of there. There's 0 threat. They can't do anything. There you go. See, the Purification already gonna cause trouble.
Quite a bit.
And still not.
Maybe if he had Sandstorm right now, he'd just go in.
That's the blood, right? Oh, there is a Bloodseeker, so yeah, they clear out the way, so at least they know that what's up with this. They have that Observer ward, but it has been dewarded now. The Dire Creeps do run in, and the Sand King is going to be looking out for Ace. Ace is very low here. The Burrow Strike comes out, the Purify going to be doing big damage as well. Ace has to play very careful here, but there's a heal from Rise.
Oh,
he will stay alive. Oh, mid lane. Timbersaw getting killed there by the Bloodseeker, but he will get the return kill on Hasted Joe. So, Baby Knight going to be enjoying that advantage in the mid lane. So 1 and 2 now, 8 minutes in. Friends are kind of ahead actually, 200 gold ahead now on Sand King. He is still farming very deep into creep wave. He doesn't really care because the Centaur really can't go through this creep wave. He has to be very careful here. The Purify is waiting for that. The repel will come out. So again, no counterplay available, and Yoku just getting free reign on that top lane, just able to chop down the tower. Always want to fly now, showing his old face in the lane.
Yeah, this is the biggest problem by like putting this IO on the bottom lane. They do get more defensive power, obviously. I'm not really sure if it's completely worth giving Yoku a free lane, and it's also giving Always Want to Fly free reign as well. He's level 5 on the Keeper of the Light, who otherwise would have been under the gun up against a Batrider IO dual lane. So they're kind of putting all their eggs into this bottom lane basket, while at the same time not getting many kills off of it, or any kills off of it really. So they're suffering top and bottom by trying to go for this play, and it does make sense. Try to leverage the early game power of Centaur Warrunner as much as possible. Like that play is what you want to be doing. But in this context, they're giving up a lot to do it without gaining much of their own. And now that the Sand King has Drum of Endurance, I'm not sure if they can actually kill him anymore. Double Edge is only level 2. He's gone for 3 points in return. It's a very powerful spell, but if you're looking for kills with an IO, return literally doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and here comes Timbersaw. Rise is in deep trouble as there is a haste on that robot man. But he's going to miss the Chakram and the Chin, so that's a lot of his burst down the drain there. And Rise will walk away a happy camper. Imperial sitting at 1 kill to 2. So far, it's still anyone's game, I would say. 9 minutes in, we have the CS and net worth. Gonna be favoring the Juggernaut. I see a Rupture. No, not Rupture. Just Bloodright being deployed in the mid lane. And Centaur, you notice, skip boots. So, meaning to be more of a tank than anything. Doesn't really care if he can't outrun anyone. Gonna maybe try and do that with Stampede if he does require him to. Lasso, there you go. Yoku is gonna bleed out. Look at him, gonna be pulling with the blood leaking out, and yeah, he will drop. So Baby Knight already showing that power of his hero versus the Jug. Spin or not, you're not going to be escaping. And I think Bloodseeker has actually got a place in this game, the meta game. You know, it's very good against heroes like PA that really value mobility. Not very tanky, but have a lot of pseudo tank abilities like Blur. Oh, Ace, gonna just step on them there. He's I don't think he's in trouble. Yeah, shouldn't be in trouble.
He's fearless, dude. He literally just like walked into the enemy creep wave and 2 heroes and just started auto attacking creeps. So you knew that with the hood, there's nothing that they could really do against him unless a third hero teleported in. If they tried to harass him, return would pretty much make those right clicks balanced going either way. So uh, by doing that, Ace is actually getting around Caustic Finale, like that threat of giant burst damage from a huge dying creep wave. So it is pretty cute. It may end up punishing him, but now that he has Stampede and the hood, doesn't seem like no boost is really a big deal. And oh, it took down the Timbersaw again with that Rupture. Only a minute cooldown on that one. Noya, though, is going to die. There it is.
Yeah, the Timbersaw getting wrecked there by the Rupture. So that's why it's kind of odd to see him pick Timbersaw into the Rupture. It's kind of like Mana League but with health. So if Timbersaw doesn't like Mana League, he will definitely not enjoy Rupture as well. But yeah, now looking at Ace, farming up that stack once again. He's gonna really have himself a good time as he has that Vanguard being picked up already. Still has not used the Stampede yet, so I haven't really seen any kind of uses of that. But Baby Knight's already 3-0 right now, so he's a really happy guy. He's about to hit level 11. I talked about that sweet point for your Bloodseeker. You really want to hit that level 11 and get that level 2 Rupture because that is a huge damage boost and you can actually see damage increment, like noticeable damage. People can't just run through your Rupture now without taking significant damage. So I'm very excited for this level.
Those like couple of seconds when they don't realize they're ruptured, that actually kills people instead of just like mildly damages them. Plus, on top of that, now they have a Blink Dagger on the Batrider who's been hanging around the mid lane, but mostly taking care of those jungle stacks, making sure he gets this Blink Dagger in time. With the Stampede now, and the freaking Vanguard and the Centaur, it's time for Imperial to go in. Like, they would have liked to have a slightly better early game with the Undying, with the Centaur, dual tri-lane, but now they're going to go in for bottom.
I think they still got him. Oh, no, they don't.
They already used Blink.
It's up in 4 seconds, but here comes the Bloodseeker. He's going to Rupture you, regardless of whether you like it or not. They're going to pull the Omni Knight, alright, but that's a different target. The Timbersaw is coming in now with the IO, but Baby Knight's just going ham here. Oh, he bleeds himself. Look at him. But Barrel Strike takes out a huge chunk of his life. The Bloodseeker just enjoying himself some good old move speed. Oh, the push away from that Cardo might be enough to tip him over the edge. The chain comes, and there you go. Down goes your Bloodseeker. The Sand King is back here with more life. Ace Joe on that Batrider. A little bit out of his element there as he gets taken out by Undershock there. Good TPN with the Timbersaw. Gonna be able to secure a big kill there for his team with the Chakra Magic as well, being able to use 2 of those spells quickly in quick succession, being able to output a lot of burst damage, and it was more than what Imperial could deal with. So now we're going to sit at a 3-6 scoreline with Friends in the lead, 3 kills up.
That is pretty costly because it essentially wastes the Blink Dagger. The Batrider shut it off, got Burrow struck before he could actually act on it. And that lasso, like pulling the Omni Knight out of the blood, right? Like that's not really what you want to be doing. You're going in pretty deep. You know the enemies are going to be teleporting in, and you use up all your control to do very, very little. Again, this is what Imperial are really bad at with their draft, is actually controlling any single target. Until the Centaur gets a Blink Dagger, in which case it gets a little bit more possible, but as it stands right now, they pretty much only have a lasso's duration to get kills before someone is going to interfere.
Cardo. Gets pushed away. Here comes Baby Knight. He ruptures the Omni Knight. Alright. I really like this play. No fear. Look at him. He can't actually run through this one. Bloodseeker. Gotta come hit him twice. See, that's the situation. It's like, do I run and die or do I stand and die? Either way, I'm dead. And Yoku might get Omni Slashed here if he's not careful. But it's a level 1 Omni Slash, so Baby Knight should be able to walk this one off. But Afterlife comes in with the Burrow Strike. They come in with the Epicenter as well. Baby Knight now gonna deploy that Blood Right. Is he gonna get out there in time? Nope, the heals are not gonna come through for him. And that's gonna be a kill. The Omni Slash now at level 2. Gotta be able to finish off that Batrider. So Yoku gets himself 2 quick kills. And, well, Friends, they are really starting to rack up the damage here as they are gonna secure himself a 900 gold boost there. And Ace, meanwhile, trying to get himself out of there. He's tank, but he's not anti-Timbersaw tank, and he's gonna pop the hood. It's gonna take no damage at all until Timbersaw comes in and ruins his life. Oh nope, the Omniscience will claim him. So 5-9 here, losing another core. Imperial. Game falling apart for them. I hate to see Bloodseeker lose like that, man. I'm gonna be real here.
Dude, I hate seeing like these newer heroes lose like that.
It's like,
Bloodseeker or not,
them from being picked in the future. I'm like, no.
Yeah. If they win, then they're like, oh, we'll do it next time also, and it'll win next time as well. It has been Bloodseeker playing with very, very few items. He just now picks up his first big one in the Yules. So, not sure if that would have made a huge difference in that last team fight, but still, they're deciding on taking these fights with a man down since Centaur was top and he's now got the pipe off of it, so I guess it's kind of nice. But with Baby Knight also not having their items, with Friends having all of their skills, which at this point, when you're looking at an Omni Knight, a Sand King, and a Juggernaut, are at their peak. So it's kind of Imperial at their weakest, taking Friends at their strongest, and that is just a little bit of an issue here for Imperial. It seems like they're not really all that well practiced playing around this blood, right? Like, they haven't really focused the fight around that spell, and maybe that's because they have a lack of control. Maybe they just need this Yule Scepter so that Baby Knight can set it up himself. But they haven't really been abusing that spell. They're gonna
that's
Rupture
a very
again.
blatant Rupture right there. No fear. The lasso is gonna come in. He's gonna get Barrel Strike. Hasted Joe. The Bat Rider plays not pristine in this game, but it's okay. They will find that Omni Knight eventually. So he does find the target that he was supposed to hit. And here comes Ace, walking right up to the tower, says, "Hey, bro, why don't you hit yourself?" And there you go. Pew, pew, pew. And then, well, there goes your tower. And Baby Knight just running in there. Starts with the Yule Scepter. That's how you get that. That's why you get that item for. Gets that set up with the silencer. Gonna get himself damage down, but there's the Stampede coming in. But they know that this is the bad time to overcommit here for a kill. They have that Omni Knight down for another 5 seconds, but Keeper of the Light, that blinding light, really annoying when you're trying to dive that deep and dropping you down to a 20% accuracy, as well as the huge knockback. I think it's now up to 600. 600 is a big, yeah. 675. That's a huge radius to be knocked back from. So Coddle is good stuff now.
And that's, again, the issue of Imperial, the lack of initiation at that Bat Rider. If they had a Blink Dagger on Centaur, they could have gone in for that tier 2, killed anyone around it, and gotten away with it. But if they don't have a lasso kill right into a tower, they're probably not going to get that tower. They need, 2 or 3 kills beforehand off of a, Rupture and lasso kill. It was a little bit too scattered around for it, but still, this Centaur, despite dying twice, is, being a rather pacifist Centaur, but he's farming up an absolute storm. Like, 1,800 gold on top of Pipe Vanguard 20 minutes in the game is outrageous. They're gonna fight mid, though.
There's a Rupture ready, Baby Knight. He's gonna use himself there, remove that Monolith, and immediately gonna back off. Oh, he's gonna get Omni Slash solo. Oh, he get out there. No, he will not, so he gets killed there by the Jug, so already your Rupture is gonna be out of commission. Noya gonna be chased down by that Omni Knight, and there you go. A poof goes the light ball. But meanwhile, Ace is gonna be redding here. I never thought I would say this, but gonna be redding with his Centaur. Step on the Undershock's face, and as a TP out there, it takes a huge chunk of damage. But other than that, not gonna be fearing too much for his life, as we have that Bat Rider still trying to go for a little bit of split push. Yoku comes in to clear up the creep wave, and overall, I think it's a win for Friends, definitely. Even though they did lose a tier 1 tower on that bottom to the Centaur. I think late game they still have the ways of dealing with them because you have that Timbersaw. So we'll see. He now has a Boots of Travel, so he's gonna run around and do stuff now.
This is an interesting build-up from Ace. Like, the Pipe of Insight would normally indicate a play where it's we group up and we just run at you. Yet the travels kind of indicate the exact opposite, where Ace is going to continue doing what he has been doing, trying to split push and abuse the fact that they have Io and Bloodseeker. Yes, I mean, there is that as well, but if you want to do that, like, in a straight-up fight, then you get Blink Dagger, right? But if you want to be a little bit more split pressure-y, try to apply more stress to the Keeper of the Light and his recalls, you get the travels. So Imperial definitely can leverage that. Like, they have the Io, so yanking in Io, having a Bat Rider with Blink, soon to be Force Staff, they can play the global map control game if it really does come to it. But first, they're gonna smoke.
They're gonna grab that Omni Knight. No surprise there. They bleed him, they pull him, and there's the silence as well. So there goes your holy man. He's down. He's out of commission, so there'll be no heals, no saves for a while now. Always want to fly. His ultimate is now deployed. He is going to have a couple of seconds left on that one, so he's going to use that to hold the creep wave. But, you can't hold a tower against Ice on his Centaur. Maybe you can. But yeah, so far Imperial.
But the problem with that pick is that they use everything to kill off the Omni Knight. Stampede, Lasso, and Rupture. Even though the cooldowns aren't really that high on those spells, they can't really push in because of the fact that there's Timbersaw and Keeper of the Light on the other end, who will be just completely safe spamming out their spells from a distance. So Imperial, again, they do commit a lot to kill off an Omni Knight, as they should, But if they really want to take towers off of that, they have to hold one of those spells in reserve so they can take a kind of secondary initiating fight afterwards. And they didn't this time. They will have to eventually. But, getting just a pick off, because that's all it was, that's still not bad. Bloodseeker does need that income.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's one of the main things now would be to see what happens when Baby Knight gets his BKB. Because once he gets that BKB, the damage output that comes out from the enemy team will be very minimal. Apart from the Omni Slash, he doesn't have to fear too much for his life. Yeah, the Centaur should be able to get out of there. Nope, he will not. Thought he was going to TP out of there in time. But yeah, again, you see how much the Timbersaw just really counters up the natural tankiness of Centaur. I mean, yeah, he can be tanky, but you can't exactly sit through that many rounds of Whirling Death.
Mm-hmm. There's no way to counterplay Timbersaw's damage. Pipe is good, but it doesn't really counter Timbersaw because he's got a good chunk of pure. Vanguard the same thing, but he doesn't do physical, so you just have to build health, and then it's well, you still take a truckload of damage. So the natural matchup there for Friends definitely working out pretty well in their favor. Plus Centaur doesn't have a Force Staff or Blink Dagger, so he can't make those kind of jukey plays to get out from the Timbersaw, at least to buy enough time to teleport out. So this Centaur has been kind of lone wolfing it for the entire game, and it is costing them quite a bit. The Centaur is absolutely stacked, but his items aren't really helping the team, even though they should be.
I mean, okay. I've got a little story. I'm not sure because I don't know. I hate to. Okay, Baby Knight's getting caught here, but I hate to share pup stories. Okay, there's the Yule Scepter. There is the Omni Knight deploying his ultimate as well. Will Baby Knight get out of this? He is looking good so far. He tried for a Rupture there on the target, but he will not get it. Afterlife gets a Barrel Strike on 2. Ace gonna be falling there. Yoku getting the kill on the Iron in the back lines. But yeah, in the end, Friends winning hard there. But yeah, I hate to share stories about pups because they're not anywhere close to a pro game. But the other day, my friends and I were watching the game where Resolution just did the thing with the Centaur, and my friend was inspired to play that hero, and he decided to go for the Centaur pick. And 2 games we did it, and 2 games we got hard counted. Bad Rider loses his life top. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of the hard counters now. That the Centaur carry, it looks great when it works, but when it doesn't work, it doesn't look as good. And this is one of those times where it's not really looking as good. You see this Centaur being forced away by the robot. So even with the Rupture being a problem here for this Timbersaw, it's still a bigger problem here. But okay, he's gonna get ruptured up. Is he gonna be able to be safe though? It's a question. He can't actually chain away. Epicenter comes in, gonna do quite a bit of damage and slow in the area. They do get rid of the Timbersaw, but he has a nice Bloodstone charge there, so he revives it almost immediately. The thing is, he doesn't have the travels, and they will not be able to get through that Omni Knight repel. So now he's getting that Lotus Orb to remove silence as well as deflect that Rupture if able. A big deal.
Undershock had Rupture on himself, but he missed the Timber Chain. That hurts, man. You don't want to do that as Timbersaw, so he's kind of lucky that didn't happen, or he just would have killed himself against Baby Knight. But again, it seems Imperial are a little bit scattered this game. They're not making nice, clean pickoffs with their initiation